India's traditional knowledge systems to strengthen human capital for the 21st century. Today's session focuses on personalized medicine through Ayurveda, bridging traditional wisdom and modern science. We are honored to have with us Dr. Pravin, founder and CEO of Swalife Biotech Limited. He is a researcher with a PhD from Brunel University, London. Dr. Pravin has over 20 publications, 9 patents, and leads pioneering work on plant-based cancer treatments. We now invite Dr. Pravin to take over the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, madam, for the introduction. Can you see my PPTs?
Yes. You
Yes,
can
sir.
make it in the screen share mode.
Okay, so I think I need to. Yeah.
No, screen. Now it's visible. Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah.
Yes, it's visible, sir. Please, sir.
Okay. Thank you for the invite, and thank you for the short introduction. So basically today I'm going to talk about personalized medicines, and that through Ayurveda. So what we are trying to do at Swalife is that we are trying to bridge the gap between the traditional wisdom and modern science. So myself, Dr. Pravin Badhe, I'm the founder and CEO of Swalife Biotech, which is an Irish-based company. Simultaneously, we are in Pune in India as well. So just to begin with my presentation, I'm going to talk about 6 things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the Ayurveda, not going much deeper, but just a little bit about the when it started and how we can actually utilize it for the modern science. Then how now modern science is connecting the Ayurvedic principles that we are going to talk. Then we are going to talk about the challenges which are there in modern research, but simultaneously in the Ayurvedic research. Then I'm going to go through some of the digital health which are important when we are looking at Ayurvedic research from the personalized medicines point of view. With all this information, then I'm going to put my view that how this view we have incorporated in Swalife Biotech, and then we have actually working on Swalife Biotech Limited. Swalife Biotech actually is divided into now 4 divisions. So Swalife Biotech is there, which is mostly about the research, where we are incorporating Ayurveda and the modern science. Then we have got Swalife Healthcare, where we bring the products in the Indian market. Then we have got Swalife Bioinnovations, which actually does research as a service that is from Ayurvedic and from the modern science. It is a UK-based company. And then we have got Swalife Foundation as well, under which we collaborate with Pharma Institute and Science Institute and Biotech Institute to give back in the form of education, training, and also hiring process. So this is the presentation overview. So I'm going to start with the historic context. So before starting with the historic context, I want to give you one of the quote, that is, Ayurveda is not ancient because it's outdated. It's eternal because it adapts to the individual. So it is adapted to the individual, and it is not just about the illness. So with this quote, I like to start with the origin of the Ayurveda. So when we talk about Vedic period, that is from 1500 to 500 BCE, that was when the Ayurveda was emerging as a medical system, and lot of documentation was regarding the herbs was actually started at that time, and lot of information was gathered at that time. So it was the period where the before the common era was there. Then the second was the classic period, where the development of major text, including the Charak Samhita, Shruti Samhita, and Astang Sridaya, was actually developed. That was a period of 500 BCE, before Common Era, to 1000 CE, that is the Common Era. And then the third period is the medieval period, where actually the regional diversity of the practices started. So we can see that we have got Unani medicine, then we got Ayurveda, then we got homeopathy. So all this separation and the specialization was started at this period. So what was the philosophy about the foundation is that when we look at the Ayurveda, it is about the holistic perspective. So when we look at the modern science now, it is very important to think that even with the modern science, the holistic approach is done while diagnosing the patient. So Ayurveda is mostly your holistic perspective where body, mind, and spirit are actually harmonized. And then majorly the five Mahabhutas, which is called Panch Mahabhutas, like earth, water, fire, air, and ether, are the one which is actually need to be maintained, so that way natural equilibrium can be maintained. And then with this holistic approach and natural equilibrium, then Ayurveda moves towards the individual approach. So that is what is called personalized medicine, and that is where the modern science is now moving towards. When we look at the major chronic diseases such as cancer, personalized medicine is getting one of the updated treatment now, which is already there in Ayurveda. So standardized treatment protocol which are there in Ayurveda, it is actually an individual approach, and it is getting the personalized strategy developed in Ayurveda. So this is about the history and the philosophy behind the Ayurveda, which we means as a pharmacist, as a pharmacologist, as a researcher, we have given a thought on this and moved towards the personalized, that is the precision medicine. So moving further, I want to connect the modern relevance towards the Ayurvedic principles. So when we look at the Ayurvedic principles, as I mentioned, that it actually already it is a personalized approach where you are looking at the person from a holistic approach and then treating it. In addition to that, with the modern medicine, microbial awareness, that is the gut health system, is important to be recognized. Connecting the mind-body connection is an important relation established in Ayurveda. And the major focus of the Ayurvedic principle is on the prevention. So it is making sure that priorities are given towards the principle. So these are some of the ancient principles which are now modern science are utilizing to validate, due to which it can actually will move towards the prevention of the disease, so while treating the patient. So this is what is the relevance of the Ayurvedic principles when we look at the from the modern point of view. So now, when we look at the when Swalife, or when I looked the herbals, the Ayurveda principle, simultaneously it was important as a researcher, as a scientific researcher from the pharmacology background and from the clinical background. It was important for me that when I am looking at the herbs or the formulations, how much evidence-based activities are there, because as an Indian, we already have got a Ayurvedic system. Ayurvedic doctors are there. Simultaneously, the Ayush department is there, which considers the ancient knowledge as a proof where the herbs or where the the formulation can be utilized by the person. But from the modern science point of view, our aim was that how much evidence is available. And I'm just giving a couple of example, for example here, that some of the herbs which have actually already have got scientific evidences. More than 3,000 publication in turmeric is there. We have got a patent on one of the formulations which we have developed, a nano formulation of turmeric, which is actually utilized in the treatment of the breast cancer. So we already know from the evidence point of view, from the clinical point of view, that turmeric is working as a single active compound. Compounds are working simultaneously. The synergetic effect of that extract is also working. When utilize turmeric in our research, we took it for the nano formulation, so that way we can actually utilize it in the treatment of the breast cancer. So these are some of the evidences where the plant have already have shown scientific evidences, and that in the clinical studies. So when we look at the publications, nearly more than 3,000 publications are already there with the polyherb formulations, which have got nearly 28 drugs in the development, with 62% of the positive outcomes in the clinical trial. And about 143 unique compounds are there. These are just the data. But when we look at major of the cancers tools which are being utilized as a treatment, they are mostly derived from the plant-based compound. But here we are talking about the polyherbal formulation. That is where the Ayurveda comes in, where they are talking about the synergetic effect of a combination of a single herb or combination of two herbs, which can actually enhance the therapeutic effect, and it will help in the reduction of the potential side effects. So we testing single plant compound. We have been combining the plants, and we are also developing formulation in nano-based technology, and we are trying to not only get the synergetic effect, but also making sure, as a pharmacologist, our main aim is that we should actually reduce the potential side effect or any toxic effect which are produced due to these formulations. So one of the areas which as a pharmacist, as a pharmacologist, we are now also incorporating is the genomics. So here pharmacogenomics, when it mixed with the Ayurveda, it is actually a combination which can be very, very powerful. And when we are looking from the personalized point of view, having a gene sequence of a variant which has been mutated in the animal or in the human can actually give us a personalized formulation, not only from the pharmacogenomic point of view, but also from the Ayurvedic point of view, because we are also incorporating Ayurvedic constitution here to predict the drug response. So the drug response is being predicted at the initial, and with the help of the genome sequencing, by incorporating the pharmacogenomics in the studies, we are actually developing a personalized formulation. So we are incorporating gene sequencing and Ayurveda to understand that which targets are being hit by the Ayurvedic formulation or the herbs. Till date, a lot of pharmacological studies are done by the modern science, utilizing various traditional Ayurvedic herb. But in addition to that, identification of the active compound, and also looking at the mechanism of the action of those compound, lot of studies is been going on. In addition to that, major updates has been happen with the extract technology, and also the tools, the analytical tools, the standardization methods have been developed, due to which, like hyperneting technique like LCMS, LCMS-MS, LCNMRs, has actually made sure that the Ayurvedic formulation can be standardized and can be bring into the market by making sure that they have got the pharmacological activity and less or no toxicity. So the standardization has been done with the modern pharmacological research. And I think Swalife and even the academic with whom I am affiliated, we are actually doing the same thing, that lot of standardized extract where um, polar compound like flavonoid, polyphenols are being standardized and it has been tested for preventive purpose. So when we look at the the discovery of the bioactive compounds from plant, major like 10 more than 10,000 bioactive molecules are present, which are being utilized from the Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia. So Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia is one of the source from where the pharmacological active compound can be sourced, and we can actually work on them. It is also can be a starting point for some of the allopathic drug, which is already utilized by many pharma companies. But when we look from the Ayurvedic point of view or Indian knowledge system, as an Indian, we can actually utilize Ayurvedic pharmacopoeia, where we can actually look, bioassay guided fractionation or advanced, technologies like hypernative technologies like LCMS, NMRs, which can give us a starting point to discover some novel secondary metabolized small molecules. So with this bioactive compound discovery, novel compound, already clinical studies have been done where the Ayurvedic derived compounds have been tested. So when we look at the innovative research methodologies, and what we are also utilizing in our Swalife Biotech, is that we are looking whole system research, where we are evaluating the extract. So that way, it's not only isolating the component, but as a synergetic effect can be tested. Second thing, here I have seen system biological approach, but it is a network biological approach, where network pharmacology, where you can actually develop a network of different targets, where the compounds from the plant are going and binding. So that is the second approach we are utilizing. Third is the trial designing. In our case, we are working on decentralized. We have developed a platform for that decentralized observational clinical trial. In addition to that, we are now also incorporating adaptive and programmatic trials, which are a type of clinical trials where you can actually work on the modification of the trial while the trials are going on, in addition to the observational clinical trial which we are doing with our formulation. And the fourth one is the genomic science, that is the omic integration, where genomic, proteomic, and metabolic data are being utilized. So for that purpose, we are using network pharmacology. But in addition to that, hello? Hello?
Please.
Is there any question?
Mic, ma'am.
I think somebody's mic is on.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Dr. Pravin, please go ahead.
Okay. So fourth one is the omic integration, where we are utilizing genomic, proteomic, and metabolic data. At this point, we are actually utilizing the database which are already there in public domain, like Uniprot, also like PDBs, PubChem, to utilize those. But simultaneously, we are also developing our own database by doing the gene sequencing. So here, the approach at the initial stage, the approach is to utilize the network pharmacology, where we can identify different target in the disease, and then the leads from the plants are going and binding with that. So that is one of the thing. And the second thing is that we are making sure that advanced statistical methodology are being utilized. So that way we can actually make sure the database, the data which we got from the database, can be analyzed and prediction can be done. So that way we can utilize this formulation for the preclinical and clinical testing. So this type of work we are conducting, where the innovation is going to be utilized utilizing the Ayurvedic principles with the help of the modern technology. So with this, I want to come with a quote where I want to say that true personalized medicine is going to begin not in the lab, but in the understanding that no two bodies, mind, or path to heal are ever the same. So what I'm trying to say here is that it has to be personalized, because when we look the clinical studies, when we look preclinical studies, even with the in vitro studies, when we are taking the human cells, two cells are not going to be same, and they are not going to behave same when it is been treated. So it is very important to understand that. Same thing is with the animals from the same groups when we are treated with the test compound, and same with the human in the clinical, when they are treated with the same drug at same concentration, may behave differently for the same disease. So it is very important to understand there where the personalized medicine are important. So with all this uh, you know uh, uh, principles of Ayurveda, and also how we can utilize them in the modern science, there are challenges which Ayurvedic research is facing. And when we look from the personalized medicine point of view, where we want to modernize it, these problems need to be resolved, or need to be find a way how we can actually uh, you know um, look for from the different point of view. So the challenges here we are facing is the methodology limitation. So when we look at the clinical trial, as I mentioned, that mostly when we look with the Ayurveda, it is about single herb or combination of the herb. But in the conventional clinical trial, it is about one target hitting with the one molecule. And due to that type of methodology, it is very difficult to test Ayurvedic formulation or single herb extract as well. So here I just want to give my one of the experience we had. We had a collaboration with Leo Pharma, which is one of the dermatologic company. They have actually got an open innovation platform. So what happened under this open innovation platform? So if you have a single molecule, so when actually we started, it was about single molecule. Afterward, they now also got testing for extract and combination of the extract. So initially, when we had this collaboration, they were actually testing only single compound. So you actually send them your compounds, and under the open innovation, they are going to test that compound for their disease model. So if the compound hit the target, they will go with you a collaboration, and then they will go a commercial collaboration will happen between you and the company. So that is about open innovation, where they are going to test your formulation or your single compound freely, and if that targeted is hit, they are going to collaborate. But when we actually moved on towards single herbs and the combination of the herb, under that open innovation, we were unable to test it. Why? Because as I told you, that they are looking for a testing of the single compound for the single target. So it is very important that methodology need to be developed, where you can actually make sure that the targets, that is the proteins, need to be tested on the combination of the compound or on the herbal extract. Then the second thing is that standardization issue is there, where when we look at the advanced analytical methods, lot of variations is there in botanical constituents. So it is important that advanced analytical methods are being utilized, so that way we can actually make sure that the standardized extract is going into each batch is having the standardized extract, so that way the therapeutic effect will not be a issue. So that's second thing which is still there. And the reason is, again, the source of the herbs is the major one. So one of the experience which I had with this standardization issue was actually when I was doing my PhD at Brunel University. I had another colleague. She was working on breast cancer, and she had plant extract from India. So they had a collaboration with the Indian Institute, and the extract was produced by that Indian Institute. And the result at the initial levels for that extract were very good, and they have different, they actually made nearly 50 samples of that extract, and different formulations were developed. But then what happened while doing that work, she needed the extract, and she actually sourced the herb from different countries. So if you have the same plant from different area, there is a variation in the chemical constituent, and that variation is important when we look at the bioactivity or even the toxicity point of view, and that issue is still there. So that is another important challenge which Ayurveda and also the herbal the formulations are facing. Then the third one is the integration barrier, where educational and institutional collaboration need to be there. So when we look at the the medical researchers, so they are actually having lack of understanding about the Ayurvedic principle, where when we look at the traditional practitioners which are there, they are having issue with the research methodology. So having that collaboration where the traditional practitioner who is having a knowledge of the Ayurvedic drug, collaborating with the researcher who is working on the research methodology, it can be actually a good way to develop things. But again, that training or that type of interdisciplinary teams are difficult to develop. So that is another challenge being faced. Then another thing is about the quality control. Raw material authentication is one of the challenging issue faced, as mentioned earlier. So that is important. Then the fifth one is the process standardization. So with the traditional manufacturing, we look the methodologies like trituration or heating is going on. But with the modern, it is very difficult. So there is a need for modern GMP facility to incorporate the traditional Ayurvedic method like triturations and heating parameters to be included. So that way the processing can be standardized and quality control can be maintained. In addition to that, Ayurvedic product need to be after finishing the manufacturing need to be done a finished product analysis, where the identification, purity, even the potency of the that batch need to be done, and it has to be then be consistent for batch by batch. So it's not only about the identification with the analytical method, but simultaneously bioassays for biological activities or heavy metals and microbial testing need to be done. Don't have to be each batch, but at least randomly the batch need to be tested for microbial testing and heavy metals. So that another issue when we look for Ayurveda to be established in other developed countries. The heavy metal is another thing which has been a barrier to introduce Ayurvedic or herbal formulation into developed countries. Regulatory frameworks is another point which need to be given a thought, because when we look at the traditional or herbal medicine, WHO has had a new strategies just recently, 2014 2000 to 2023, where they created a global framework where they were integrating the traditional medical system utilizing the national regulatory bodies. But when we look at the scientific validation requirement in India, there is a Ayush regulation where they consider traditional knowledge as evidence. But when we look at the European Association or FDAs, they want the clinical data. So that way, they want the evidence that the herb, the formulation is having activity on the humans. So these regulatory are challenges for the formulation or for the company. There are efforts taken by International Association for Studies of Traditional Asian Medicine, where they are trying to harmonize this regulatory framework, so that way the standardized or respecting traditional knowledge, quality and safety measures can be developed, and a regulatory framework can be developed which can be utilized by all the countries. So that challenge is there, but again, that is an opportunity where the work is going on. In addition to this, integration of the healthcare model. So one of the reason that which I think the Chinese medicine is comparatively moving ahead to Ayurveda is because of this integrated healthcare model, where I was actually attending one of the conference in which happened in Brunel only in 2012, where a Chinese researcher was presenting her work. It was from the basic research till clinical studies, and it was done in just one campus. So they had a facility to do basic research, but simultaneously they had a facility where clinical trial phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 can be done in addition to the animal study. So it is a system which has been developed, and those type of systems are also there in US and also in UK and some of the European countries. So there is a need to have this integration done. So with this, what is going to happen that whatever formulation or Ayurvedic herb which has got activity at the initial stage can also be tested, and it is going to be easily faster. It can be taken um, into the market. So that hospital integration with the academic institute need to be there. Then there need to be a collaborative approach where healthcare centers in association with some of the Ayurvedic doctors and also companies are actually utilizing the electronic records, which can be then create a starting point for the drug development. And the third thing is that the educational integration, where the education is actually making sure some of the selective courses on the Ayurvedic approach are there, already there, where the medicine is being taught. So UCSD School of Medicine is already doing that. Simultaneously, Manipal University is having the dual degree program where they are training the physician in both Ayurveda and also the conventional medicine. So with this, I want to mention here that when traditional meet technology, it is going to be a healing becoming not just a precise, but it is going to be personalized. So traditional is going to, in addition with the technology, is going to be a major shift towards the personalized medicine. With the Ayurveda, we are already doing that, but with the technology, it is going to be very precise. So when we talk about technology, the digital health is growing, and there are a lot of things happening in digital health. As I mentioned, we are using technology not only in the research, but simultaneously with a lot of things we are developing. So one major thing which I want to mention here that we are developing a telemedicine platform where we are going to. So there are already some of, so like there is a AI enhanced diagnosing platform is there. In our case, we are utilizing the eyes and we are utilizing the skin to do the diagnosing of different diseases. So in case of the skin, it is for the skin disease purpose. With the eye, it can be for some of the chronic diseases. I'm going to show that to you. So what we are doing. The second thing in digital health is the personalized tracking, where the platform is integrated with the traditional wisdom, where you can actually utilize the modern biometric data. So that way you can allow a real-time adjustment in the diet, lifestyle, and also with the herbal protocol. So that personalized tracking platforms are being developed and been utilized in some areas. And telehealth, as I mentioned, so we already have got some of the telehealth medicine platform, which is mainly for the allopathic drug. But again, in this case, qualified Ayurvedic practitioners platform is there. Swalife is developing Doctor Insight. That is a platform we are developing, and that is majorly for the Ayurvedic doctor and naturopathy practitioners. So this digital digital health research is already been developed, and a lot of things are being utilized as part of this digital health. But also AI is making sure that it can actually move towards a lot of modernization of the old, that is the Ayurvedic systems, or even the Chinese medicine are utilizing this AI tools, which can be a major shift of this Ayurveda with the help of the modern technology. So moving with the this modern technology, that can be moved towards the precision medicine, that is the precision pharmacology. So when we look at the Ayurveda Virya, that is the potency, where modern pharmacology is confirming that the heating um, properties of herbs are actually utilized in vasodilatory and metabolic stimulation effect, where the cooling herbs are exhibiting anti-inflammatory and antipyretic properties. So these are some of the precision pharmacology, where when we are deciding on the plant, when we're deciding on the herb, can be utilized with these properties of the plant. Then the second is the test. When we correlate the chemical analysis or phytochemical profile of the plant, we have identified that the bitter taste compound can be utilized for digestive secretions or metabolic pathways. So again, here, based on the test, you can actually make sure that in which area those plants can be utilized. Then metabolic study has validated that the concept of pro-digestive transformation can be utilized another way to predict the biotransformation of uh, the compound that is been affecting the physiological impact, and also it is going to support the understanding of the traditional medicine. So it's not only about the taste, but it is also with the help of the post-digestive effect. And the last one is the specific effect, where pharmacological research is documenting unique action which are not being utilized using potency test or post-digestive effect. But studies are confirming that this herb is actually having that effect, which cannot be predicted by just with the property alone. So they are validating those type of activity with for that plant as well. So precision pharmacology is being utilized when we are selecting the herb. So there are a lot of global research initiatives been happening now. So so when we look the period before 1992, it was mostly the work was happening on the herbs, on the extract, on the molecules from the plant. So the period came after 1992, where high throughput screening was introduced into pharma companies, and due to that, the extract was difficult to test, because with the high throughput screening, you can test the single compound with the single target, and it was difficult to test on the combination of compound which is there in the extract. So 1992 to 2010 was the period where high throughput screening was there. No much novel compounds were identified, and then it moved toward the um, again move toward the AI, and also incorporation of the synergic activity and personalized medicine. So with these changes into the culture of the research, the global initiatives are there, where traditional medicine centers are there, which are conducting not only the preclinical research, but also the clinical trials have been performed, where Ayurvedic protocols are being developed, which will help to bridge the traditional knowledge, the gap between the traditional knowledge and the modern scientific validation. In addition to that, international collaborations are there, where cross-culture research partnerships are there. So one of the uh, program which I want to collaboratively mention here is the Harvard Medical School and Manipal University having that collaboration. In addition to that, a lot of companies are tie-upping, the startups are having collaboration with some of the academic institute in India. Then industry partnership is there, where private and public partnerships are happening. So this industry partnership is very nicely happening in European countries, where there is a grant from the Europe. It is called Eurostar, under where the startups are collaborating with pharma companies, and they are developing a lot of novel molecules research for different for different diseases. So these global research are happening. So when we look at the future direction in the Ayurvedic research, majorly the genome, that is the omic integration, where proteomic, genomic, and metabolic need to be utilized in the Ayurvedic research. The second thing is the AI powered formulation designing. AI is being utilized in many things. It's not only about the formulation, but utilizing in network pharmacology to identify the target, using molecular docking to identifying the binding of that lead with the target, and also utilizing the molecular dynamics to understand how they can behave in the body, can now be done with the AI powered. So that is another thing. Third is to have a personalized clinical trials, where you can actually have evidence-based protocols that you can do. And while doing all this, the major part is that the traditional knowledge. So developing a traditional knowledge database is important, which can be then make sure that the Ayurvedic research can be modernized, and lot of novel formulations can come out in the Indian sector. So measure of the Ayurvedic wisdom can be combined with the cutting edge technology. And due to this cutting edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, or gene sequencing, that is omic integration, can be utilized, and complex diseases can be treated with traditional formulation, and they can be made sure that we can actually confirm where the effect was happen, on which type of biological network the target was hit by the traditional formulation. So this is what need to be done. These tools need to be utilized in the in combination with the Ayurvedic formulations. So when we look at the patient-centric outcomes, about 68% of the symptoms were improved. Then there were reduction in the medication about in 73% of the patient, and there was a satisfaction rate of 85%. So there is a high satisfaction when we integrate Ayurvedic conventional approach into the while using the modern technology. So there is a qualitative studies have been there, where having a holistic perspective, giving holistic perspective and giving individual attentions is actually helping with combining precision diagnosing, is actually helping to reduce the symptoms, and also reduction in the medication. So there is a already a data available where satisfaction rate is about 85%. So with this, what I want to say here is that Ayurveda teaches what science is on, or is only now beginning to prove, that is about personalized and prevention. So prevention is power, and the patient is the center of every solution. So it is very important that we should actually look from the prevention point of view when we are talking about herbs, when we're talking about Ayurveda, but it is about having a personalized approach and utilizing the modern technology. So with all this information which we had, and also we are utilizing in our research and in our company, there are some certain of my views which I want to put in front based on all the information. That what is important at the moment when we look from Ayurveda point of view, modern technology point of view, is that having a interdisciplinary collaborations, then having a interdisciplinary education is important, where combining Ayurveda, then industry, then Indian knowledge system into the study is very important, in the training is very important, and that step national education policy has already taken, but implementing is important, so that need to be done. Second is the clinical training. So when we are looking at the having a novel formulation activities there, but need to be proved clinically, so hand-on experience need to be there. So a lot of institute where clinical research is going on. There is already observational rotation happening in Ayurvedic department, but that need to be implemented, and that is going to be a good approach. So in case of the pharmacy, there is a course called PharmD, where actually 2 years clinical training is given to the pharmacy student, due to which they are called doctor in pharmacy, and that clinical need to be integrated with Ayurveda, and that way it is going to help with the growth of the Ayurvedic formulation, and evidence-based data can be generated. And third is the research methodology, where research approach need to be taught to the traditional system. So we already have got Ayurvedic doctors, but having a research methodology taught to those and utilizing them in the clinical research will be another important point which need to be considered. In addition to that, ethical consideration need to be given, where proper concern need to be raised when there is a ethical issue. So collaborative partnership with traditional knowledge holders and utilizing them in the research will be useful for the Ayurvedic formulation, Ayurvedic area. In addition to that, when we look at the Ayurvedic formulation, informed consent in the clinical trials, something which need to be integrated. So when we are working on the clinical trials, it can be conventional or it can be observational. Informed consent need to be taken, so that way it can be utilized in the submission to the regulatory bodies. So it is important that traditional knowledge system, then integrative approach, and contemporary scientific methodologies are studied, so that way the bridge can be fulfilled, and it is going to help in the validation of the traditional knowledge formulations utilizing the modern technology, and it will be proved utilizing the scientific methodology, where you can do the control experiment, or you can utilize the data where statistical validation can be done. So this is another area which is important to be studied. Then, as mentioned in the ethical point, policies are another thing which are actually a barrier for this Ayurvedic formulation or herbs to actually put into the market in different markets. So there are highly regulated countries, and there is a need for having that harmonization of the regulation. So instead of having each country regulation, WHO and also different societies are involving to harmonize them. In addition to that, educational reform need to be done, which I mentioned already. With educational reform, the research priorities also need to be given on the Indian knowledge system, in addition to the modernization of the technologies. And major part, that is the insurance cover, actually already started in some of the insurance company. They are covering patient for the Ayurvedic treatment, but if that is done, that will be another point where the patient will actually approach to Ayurvedic treatment as well, because they are covered by the insurance. So that policies recommendations are important when we are integrating the Ayurvedic with the modernization, because they are actually a barrier there. And the major part which we are doing, that is we are utilizing Ayurveda into personalized medicine, where we are using genomic technology Second, we are utilizing system biology. System biology, where we are actually using the network pharmacology to map the network between different genes and the protein, and also their effect in different pathway with the help of understanding, with the help of the metabolites. So that we are doing. So we are personalizing the Ayurvedic with the modern technology, and we are integrating the genomic data and the Ayurvedic formulation to treat the patient in specific diseases, but targeting different proteins. So it is a synergetic effect of the single molecule from the plant, but not on the single target. It is on the numbers of targets. So we integrating that approach. So when we look at the path forward, as I mentioned that collaboration is important thing which need to be done, where traditional knowledge and modern science will collaborate. Then it is important that the validation need to be done, and that need to be rigorous, where research methodology which are utilized in preclinical or in clinical need to be validated fast. Then it has to be a patient-centric approach, and it need to make sure that it will create a global health impact. So integrating Ayurvedic with the modern science is going to be a path towards personalized medicine, because a holistic approach is going to be utilized into individual prospect of the Ayurveda. And when you are utilizing the technology, that is AI, that is the digital, it is going to be a one of the powerful formulations from the traditional system. So with this, all the information, I just want to touch some of the part where we are doing at Swalife Biotech, which is one of the research based company which we are running at Ireland and in India. So what our belief is that collaboration is the key, and it is going to push the boundaries of the scientific discovery. So it is very important that collaborations are done. So we are the founder, myself, Dr. Pravin Badhe, and Mrs. Ashwini Badhe. We are with our advisors and mentors. We are actually developing a small molecule formulations. So these small molecules are from plant, where we are targeting. So initially it was about DNA damage pathway in cancer, but now with the help of the network pharmacology and gene sequencing, we are not specifically only targeting DNA damage, but we are targeting those pathways which are mutated in that cancer. Why? Because we are developing personalized medicine, and our main disease which we are focusing on is the cancer. So our approach is personalized approach, where we are utilizing the traditional herbs, and with the help of the digital technology, we are customizing the formulation to the targets which are identified using network pharmacology and gene sequencing. So with the personalized herb formulation, when we look from the herbal point of view, we are making sure that we are selecting those herbs which are important in that disease. So based on the literature, we are doing text mining, we are doing prompt engineering to identify those herbs which can be utilized in the target which we have identified for that disease. We are making sure that the high quality herbs which can be fine when it is developed, it will give us the batch by batch the same result. So there is no variation in the analytical and from the bioactive point of view. And looking at the synergetic blend, it is actually going to give the same bioactivity, and they are safe and effective. So when we say safe and effective, there are a lot of animal and cell studies are done before moving towards the clinical. So in case of the cell studies, we are doing toxicity study, MTTS is done. Simultaneously, we are doing some free radical assay. Then we are looking at the antioxidant effect of the plant. Then when we move towards animal, we are utilizing ex vivo, that is chicken eye assay, liver slice assay. Then in the animals, we are using brine shrimp. Then we are using earthworm to make sure that the toxicity is not there for the concentration which we have selected for the formulation. With all this, when we move into the animal studies, we have a formulation which is already having activity but no toxicity, and then we are doing on different rat and mice the bioactivity study before moving towards the clinical study. Now I mentioned about the clinical study, but I want to so we actually started with the research, but then we have now moved in towards the platform as well. As I mentioned, that we actually have got an online consultation platform for Ayurvedic doctor, then naturopathy doctor, where we will be counseling the patient for their requirement for different diseases. That will be utilized for both the properties. One is to give the prescription for the different medicine, but simultaneously that data will be utilized for the development of the further drug. So initially network pharmacology and gene sequencing is there, but then we will also have data from the patients who are being counseled by the doctors which are there on our platform. So this is the interface. What I'm showing is the primary beta interface, which has now been modified and it is in the process. So initially the doctors can log in. After registration, the doctor can log in, and then whatever appointments are there, they can actually do the counseling of those patients. So once the counseling is done, they can create a prescription. So based on the prescription, the medication can be dispensed. Here it is showing all from allopathic, but there are different Ayurvedic formulations, so that can be dispensed, and once that is dispensed, the delivery and payment can be done. So it is a platform where you are going to talk with the patient till the prescription and till the um, uh, you know um, uh, delivery of the medication as well. In addition to this, we are also talking with the different pharmacies in different areas where we can actually keep our product. So that way, any doctor from that area, when does the online counseling, the patient can directly go to the pharmacy and they can, get the medicine dispensed. So here, what we are trying to do, we are trying to bring the Ayurvedic formulation, herbal formulation into the format of the clinical setup, where we will have a track that which allopathic drug was taken by that patient while he or she was taking some of this Ayurvedic medicine as well. So we are covering clinical, and also we are covering the pharmacovigilance. Pharmacovigilance is more about the side effect, toxic effect happening on the patient when they are taking the drug which was prescribed by the allopathic doctor. Then in addition to that, our platform will also have a diagnosing tool. So these are some of the tools which we have developed where skin disease can be utilized. Here it is a machine learning tool where you can take the images of the skin and you can train the machine, and based on the sample of the patient skin, we can actually identify that what type of skin disease that patient have. And the second one is the eye diagnosing. So whenever actually the doctor is you're having a counseling, they look at your eyes as well. Here what we have developed is that you can actually put the images of your eyes, the picture of your eyes, and it is going to analyze about the eye diseases, but simultaneously it can give you the Parkinson indication and Alzheimer indication as well. So some of the chronic diseases can be identified based on the eye analysis. So that can be done with this tool. So that also we are going to incorporate on that platform. So that is the initial phase where the doctors are going to involve and the diagnosing can be done. And then regarding research, I was already mentioned but this is the journey of the patient which will happen, where the counseling and the assignment will be done. Then the personalized formulation will be developed. Some formulation will already be there, which the doctor can give from there, but simultaneously personalized formulation can be done, and based on the platform the online support can be given. So how we are working is that trust and the transparency, where quality of the herb, then transparent practice and expert guidance is what will be going to get by the patient with the platform and based on our research. So that is Ayurveda and the modernization of the technology. So now when we're developing the precision herbal formulation, as I mentioned earlier, we are utilizing the network pharmacology. So in both the cases where we are identifying the proteins for the disease as well, and simultaneously we are identifying the targets for the different chemical constituent from that plant, and then we are analyzing it for the common targets. So once we have identified the common target, with the help of the gene ontology, we can actually get the different pathways which are there in that disease, which have been targeted by our leads. In addition to that, we are also getting protein-protein interaction. That is the another target which is important when we are looking, disease from the synergetic point of view. And that protein-protein interaction is also playing important role when we are, targeting that disease. So with the help of the network pharmacology, we are developing the precision herbal formulations. So these are some of the formulations where majorly the 5 product which comes under the pure herb category are from a single herb. We have also got a combination of the herbs. We have also got combination herbs in nano emulsions, so that are coming. In addition to that, we also have some of the formulations in the skincare and also in the pain relief. So this is another tool where we are utilizing at the initial level. So this is a literature mining tool where you can get the articles and different target using the disease and the name of the herb. So what you need to put is the disease and the herb which you are working on, and it is going to give you the network of the articles which are there in the public domain for the disease and for the herb, and simultaneously it is also going to give you the targets which are present in that disease. So this tool is also there, and this is part of the research platform. So with this, I'm at the end where I want to say that the future of medicine is now basically on the study of the genome and Ayurveda, which is going to develop a precision medicine with the help of the molecular studies. So it is very important that we are looking Ayurveda from the by utilizing the modern technologies and making sure that the genome has been incorporated. So that way we will come to know that the Ayurvedic medicines are targeting specific molecular targets in the body. So with this, just want to say that if you can connect it on different social media, and simultaneously I like to acknowledge all my Swalife team, my family, all the people who have contributed in Swalife and in all this research. In addition to that, all our investors and all the buyers who are actually utilizing our product. So with this acknowledgement, I like to thank you all for attending and listening my session. If there is any question, I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pravin. Thank you so much. Participants, if you have any questions, please, you can unmute and ask.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sir,
Hello. You're not audible now.
Want to know.
Your voice is breaking.
Madam, your voice is breaking. If it's okay, can you type it in the chat box? Dr. Pravin, there is one question in the chat box. Please share the references or citations for the data being presented by you.
Okay, is there a specific data you are talking about, or are you talking about the references for all the slides? If that's the case, then I will share the presentation with sir, and he can actually share with you.
Sure, I will do that.
Yeah.
Any Dr. Chitra, if you can speak, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now I am audible, sir.
Yeah, you're audible now.
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir, for the so diseases arises from the imbalances. Now, sir, do you think can we identify the reason behind these imbalances?
So when we it can be yes, it can be no, because the thing is that it all depends. As I said, that it is about personalized. So it is about the person. That person need to be when it is imbalanced or when it actually having some symptoms, that person need to be approached, and then only we can identify that that this imbalance has been happened, and due to that this disease has been happened. So it is the answer is yes and also no, because not always the person actually approach to the doctor or to the pharmacist, and that is it gets difficult.
Yes, so because the study of cancer, like I think it is being always not diagnosed at the early stage. It's coming at the later stage when it is being at the, I think when it is being affecting whole body. At that time, it is being diagnosed. Like
Yeah, that's
how
the
you
reason, as I said, because the person is not actually approaching to the doctor when actually he or she has saw some symptom at the early stage, and that's the reason it is very difficult for the doctor to understand that when actually the imbalance was happening.
there is some study behind the blood cancer done?
What type of study?
Like regarding as you have studied, you were telling about the breast cancer, the things which were affecting. So the blood cancer studies have been done, the things which can be used for the like any Ayurvedic treatment which can be used.
Yeah, so preventive treatment can be done. So like we know that what proteins the targets are actually having mutation, and then the disease is happening. So there is a case in US, a very renowned heroine from the Hollywood. She has done a breast cancer surgery because she knows that her family is having that mutated protein, and that's why she has taken out her breast, because she wanted to protect herself in future that she might get the cancer. So when we are saying that we want to actually prevent it, we know that some of these protein are going to be mutated in future. So if we know that the lifestyle, or if we know that our family background is having from having that issues, we can take the preventive measures.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions, please?
Sir, Thank you, Pravinji, for your complete detailed insight into what you do and what's the industry looking at. I'd like to know from a totally different perspective on from the investors side or funding side for these kind of researchers. Unless and until you show an interface like what you just did, like very specific data mining possibilities, or research mining possibilities, or diagnostic possibilities in tools, or connecting aggregator possibilities as an app, the investor interest gathering and fund sizing and so on becomes difficult. So, would like to know your experience on obtaining funding for these aspects and what the industry faces in general, especially when it is herbal-based medicine. I'd like to know.
So it is nice question. So when you are thinking from the investor point of view, the minimum viable product is very important. So all the tools which I showed as a screenshot, we already have those tools at the initial stage. So those tools need to be at the initial stage, the concept what we are trying to do, and these tools how they are fitting in that concept is important, and based on that only the investors are going to be interested in your idea. So yes, I what I am trying to say that the disease is there and different targets are there. My herbal is going, the molecules will go and attach and it will create an activity. But while doing that, I need to have some scientific data, some tools which I will be utilizing. So let's say online platform, that tool, if I'm going to have that tool and how that tool is going to benefit for my research, I need to connect that. So we initially started with a research, and when we saw that there is a need that we need to also have a database of clinical as well, then we moved into the online consultation and also having this tool, because that is going to help to develop our own database. So whatever free is already there, it is there. But simultaneously, when we are looking at the personalized medicine, it is important that the patient which you are treating are actually having in your own database. So I cannot say that my molecule or the formulation is going to be very active in, let's say, in US. If I want to do that, I need to counsel those patients, because that is going to give me the clinical MVP for my formulation. So yes, initially you need to have a MVP. And when we look from the herbal point of view, it is important to have preclinical and some of the clinical data. So what we are doing, we are having preclinical data available for the formulation. As I mentioned that with the nano formulation, we already got Indian patent published, so that data is already there. But we also manufactured a minimum viable formulations, which actually have given us clinical validity. So that is also there. So with all this, when we approach to the investors, are happy that you have got something, and based on that they are happy to invest.
These are all completely technical aspects, but when they invest, when you're investing or forming a company or shareholding, they go on to a level of valuation, as in your minimum viable products potential, the total addressable markets potential, and so on. So those kind of market evaluations and sizing and your IP's valuation, you have protected your intellectual property and your formulations with certain proper patents. So the patents actual value, intangible valuation is a separate area. So how did you handle this set of valuation factors and negotiation the investors level? Was there an engaged professional necessarily, or you could get the transparent dialogue with the investor straight?
Okay, so I will go back to 2016, 17 actually. So basically, your question is going back when we actually started. So 2017 was the year I pitched the idea to some of the investors in UK.
Yeah. Okay.
And we got selected by accelerator programs. So there are different accelerator programs. So for biotech, life sciences, there is a SOSV investor who are actually having an accelerator program in US and in Ireland. So we were selected for both. US is mostly for food, and the Ireland one, which now they actually closed, but Ireland accelerator program was mostly about the life sciences, the companies who are working on small molecules or herbals or nutraceutical. So we receive when IDA got selected, we receive a pre-seed investment. So that was based on the idea. It is now changed, completely changed. Now investor wants something. They want some small minimum viable, at least something, and also a team. So I had a team. We 3-4 people were there at that time. We receive $100,000 there that time, and we receive a training of 3 months. So it was an accelerator program where 3 months they actually train us from the business perspective, and also they gave us a lab in a university, so we can actually develop our minimum viable product in that 3 months. And after that 3 months, I was so our team, all the accelerator teams, so there were 15 companies that time in that accelerator program. They were invited for the pitch. So that pitch was in King's College in UK, and we had that the pitch was done. So this was the process. How you can actually raise the fund. Now it has been changed that minimum viable product need to be there when you are actually trying to raise, or when you are trying to start your company with. Now with the evolution, when you are talking about the evolution, it is based on your product, which is going to hit something in the market. So based on, so let's say for example, if I am saying that my product is going to target breast cancer, so evaluation work that how many breast cancer patients are there, and it comes back towards that how many it is going to target. So if I'm saying that I'm targeting breast cancer DNA damage response pathway, so DNA damage response pathway, how many drugs are available already in the market? So based on the market size, your company evaluation will be done, and based on in which phase you are. So if you are at the initial stage, the evaluation will be. So if I tell about my company, when the accelerator program evaluated us, at that time the company evaluation was 1.5 million. And
this was the pre-seed value,
yeah,
is it?
Pre-seed evaluation. But at that time, actually, I had already, it was part of my, so the product, I had a minimum viable product, which was part of my PhD work. So they gave us a pre-seed investment because it was an accelerator program, and they evaluated us at that time at 1.5. For that, they have given us $100,000 to build our minimum viable product, and based on that, I pitched to other investors as well, and then we also receive another funding in 2020. So this is where we have still not gone for Series A, B, C, but based on the now, we are going to go for seed, and then we will going for Series A.
Okay, in 2020, the investment was seed again, or pre-seed?
No, it was for the 2020. It was not seed investment. It was actually the supplement for the previous investment only.
Okay, second tranche of the pre-seed investment.
Yeah, second tranche.
Okay, thank you for sharing your journey, Pravin ji. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello.
Pranams, dear resource person, pranams, and Dr. Madan Shankarji, pranams, organizer. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a beautiful and a technical lecture, sir, which opened new vistas in upcoming, years, of course, how our medical trajectories will be. And sir, just I want to share, I want to take very small time only. And just two things, sir. Like foreign countries, sir, why should not our governments insist at least once in a year a regular medical checkup to have a database of the patients to help you type of the great researchers in this field, sir? One, of course, awareness is okay. Awareness must be there for the people, but why should not governments are going for so many surveys, whatnot, everything? Why should not they go for these type of things? And they must be brought when they are coming under government helping medical schemes programs, sir. Because in so many states, governments are giving free funding for so many diseases, whatnot. And another thing I observed in this, actually, most of the cases, corporate hospitals, whatnot, everything. I'm not speaking against about corporate hospitals, sir. What I'm saying is, why should not these type of the traditional medicinal institutions are to be placed in this list also, sir? But if any governments are taking that initiative, it will be also very better for this development of our traditional knowledge systems, particularly Ayurveda, sir, which has actually given us so much light to the rest of the world. And according to so many foreign scholars who toured our country by early medieval times, actually, they glorified the medicinal advancements in our country, both in pharmacokinetics and pharmaceutics. Sir. Just this is my observation and submission also for you, sir.
So I was just means my experience when you are saying that why government is not actually involving in this, the Indian government. So I was in UK for 10 years. And I was working in National Health Services, NHS, which is a doctor, the GPs, the pharmacies, which are run by the British government, and everything, the doctors and the pharmacy is free for all the elderly and all the chronic disease patients. So what is happening, because it is a government, all the data is being collected, and that data is utilized in the research. We can actually do the same thing, because we have got two different system in India, that is Ayurvedic and homeopathic. Initially, when the patient is actually approaching, he or she should first initially go to the Ayurvedic or BHMS, and then it should go to the allopathic. That system can be developed, but unfortunately what is happening, because it is a private sector. So
Yes.
in UK, how it works, that when you actually move into the country, you have to register with the doctor first. And when you register to that doctor, you have to go only to that doctor. Whatever problem you are having, you always go to only one doctor. In India, it's not like that. In India, what happens that it is a private sector. So I go to one doctor, and if I don't find it fine for 3-4 days, I move to another doctor.
Yes.
So it is very difficult to collect any clinical information for that patient and having a database. But in UK, they are actually having a big database. So all the people who has gone there and visited the doctor, they have got all the information. So now, if Indian government get involved, and I was very, I'm not supporting any politicians here, but
Yes, sir.
I was very looking towards this when the second phase of Dr. Manmohan Singh government was going on, because the Ayush department came at that time, and also the generic medicine shops came at that time, which I was thinking that it will actually develop the Ayurvedic system more into the clinical, the evidence base. Why? Because with the Ayush department, the funding was there, and a lot of evidence-based work was happening, which could actually have made sure that something like the government funded doctors, or the government funded NHS can be developed, but that didn't happen. So, change in the government, change in the approach, change in the system is happening, and things will change. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Thanks.
much for a highly technical session. And first, I take another only small 1 minute with the permission of organizers, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Just only, sir. When we were in the childhood, actually, in my village, a big village, sir, there was one Ayurvedic medical practitioner. Though me and my sister has some problem, of course, same problem. As you are saying, potency is differentiated by observing that pulse actually, and it is not the same medicine like allopathy, sir. What you are in the beginning you are talking, just I can just recapitulate that moments of my childhood. That's what the beauty of our traditional system, sir. As you are saying in the technical words, there's a virya or something that the potency or not, or something actually you are saying, sir. Like this, sir, just it is people like you, highly resource person, highly, what I want to say, the people who are working in this field actually have to take these movements, sir. Whatever the support, though I'm a history faculty, of course, whenever we teach about Ayurveda, just we teach something more about Ayurveda, sir. So you were a very thought-provoking lecture. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Dear organizers also, pranam, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions from the participants? Thank you, Dr. Pravin. I don't think we have any other questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful lecture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.